We're talking about divorce this afternoon on Kababayan LA, defining the terms. And according to Catholic Church, hindi man daw po nila pinapayagan ang divorce. They have what they call annulment. It's a process that takes anywhere from 9 months to a year before you get your marriage annulled. It means there was no marriage in the first place, and that's why both parties can still remarry. And Monsignor Nestor here is defining the three things or three factors.
Major reasons para ma-annul yung marriage.
Yes, and the first one is without freedom, and that is yung mga
lack of freedom.
Natutukan ng baril, nabuntis, napilitang magpakasal. And second, Father, you mentioned something about
lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Of the basic properties of marriage.
Okay, how do you prove that you don't have lack of knowledge? Kasi a lot of people that get married in Catholic Church, they go through a seminar, right?
Yeah. Pero meron kasing iba, sabihin natin, nandadaya eh. Halimbawa, yung merong isa tinago yung na kasi pala may prior marriage before. Nagsinungaling sa amin.
Right.
Nagsinungaling sa asawa niya. May kaso akong ganun, may inahanda ako ikakasal eh. Few weeks before the marriage, I finally discovered, that he was married prior to another person in the church, and they had to call off the wedding.
Okay, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Para bang hindi pala ito yung pinapakasalan kong tao.
Right, right. So in line with that, because we're in the States, and this is not a very Catholic nation, some people, even though they're Catholic, they get married non-Catholic, and then that marriage they get divorced. Can they still marry? What happens? Do they have to annul that in Catholic Church, even if,
Alam mo, Janela, this is very complicated. I'll just give you the general principle. Basta ang principle, you must be free to marry. What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. So, if both of you are free to marry, you have no prior marriages, then you can be married. Now, if a Catholic wants to marry a non-Catholic who has prior marriage, even in a non-Catholic church, then that marriage would have to be studied whether that marriage existed from the very beginning as a natural marriage.
Right. It's been reported that many overseas Filipino workers or OFWs are in favor of the divorce bill. Itong divorce bill na pinag-uusapan natin in the Philippines, because the divorce laws in the United States would be more consistent with the divorce law in the Philippines and would lead to fewer immigration issues. What are your thoughts on that? Yun namang in terms of immigration, divorce and immigration.
Well, alam natin na minsan karamihan dito na ang divorce halimbawa ginagamit para sa pag-facilitate ng mga immigration issues.
Yes,
So, yun, isang dahilan na naman yun na itong divorce ay ginagamit lamang sa ibang purpose, no? Hindi talaga para sa marriage na natural marriage, no? So, nakakalungkot pag gano'n, no? Na hindi tama ang reason.
Does this bring us to the third factor of annulment, which is you're not capable of getting married?
Yeah, lack of the capacity. In other words, lack of the capacity to assume the responsibilities, of being a husband, a wife, or being a father or a mother.
What if, let's say, a non-Catholic wants to marry a Catholic person? You mentioned that earlier. But then, and then he had a previous marriage. You will have to study.
Yeah, in other words, he in effect will have to get an annulment.
Okay.
Pero ito rin gusto ko yung sabihin. Halimbawa, Catholic and gusto magpakasal sa non-Catholic, they can be married in the church. There are only two requirements. Not on the part of the non-Catholic, but on the part of the Catholic.
Which
First, that this marriage will not jeopardize her Catholic faith.
Okay.
At pangalawa, the Catholic party must promise that he or she will raise their future children according to the Catholic faith.
Okay, and that is why a lot of stringent rules sa Catholic Church in terms of marriage, and that is why we hear a lot of people also changing their religion for this. Judaism allows divorce, Islam allows divorce, even some Christian Protestant denominations allow divorce, but not Catholicism. What is your take on that? Like some people just, getting into other religions just so they can get married without a lot of hassles.
Isa pa rin doon na pinapahalagan natin ang yung marriage, no? As an institution na yun na nga, may mga kaso na hindi successful, no? Pero ang divorce kasi para bang pinamamadali o cheapen yung institution na marriage.
Parang not even trying to make it work, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
totoo. So, ang mag-asawa ay dapat they work it out na maging successful yung marriage nila. At saka yun na nga ang mahalaga, yung understanding nila na ang pag-asawa ay hindi lang naman contract na until further notice, okay. Pero ito ay covenant, commitment, lifetime commitment, no? So kaya ang ginagawa ng simbahan ay sa simula pa lang, habang naghanda sila sa wedding nila, may mga proseso silang pinagdadaanan to deepen their understanding of marriage para maging handa sila sa marriage na papasukan nila.
Yan. Siguro dapat in order to lessen the complications, when we return on the show, we'll define what you need to ask yourselves before you get married and how do you work things out with your partner. A few suggestions from these priests. Although there's also a controversy around this, no? How can you, as single servants of God, give us advice on marriage when you yourselves haven't been married? We're going to be talking about that when we return on the show. Don't go away.